Hey everyone, welcome into Siren Records Monterey. It's Fresh Catch Friday, and if you're new to the channel, this is where we talk about some of the new releases, reissues, and represses that came out today on vinyl. And Friday is new release day, and we always start out with a pick of the week. Now you'll see down below, we are going to post the big list of everything that was coming in and prices and all that stuff. I'm just going to give you the short rip of some select titles and show you what they look like and talk a little bit about them. And as I said, we always start with pick of the week. My pick for you this week is Bethany Cosentino. This is called Natural Disaster, and it comes to you on the Concord Records label. Now, if she doesn't look familiar to you, you might still know her. This is half of the duo of Best Coast, which is one of my bands that I really enjoy. And anyway, this is the debut solo record from Bethany Cosentino. And on this record, this is the Los Angeles-based singer-songwriter. She's taking a close account of the endless catastrophes and upheavals of modern life on this. She offers this high-minded, open-hearted response that makes room for compassion and imagination, a radical sense of possibility on this. So this is the indie exclusive, and it comes on this dreamsicle, orangey kind of vinyl. And here's the statement from Bethany. She says, "My identity as a human being, as an artist, has been so wrapped up in Best Coast for over a decade. So the decision to pause the project indefinitely and explore a new side of myself was a very difficult one to make, but necessary for me. Life is too short not to give yourself what you feel you need and want. I'm excited about being just Bethany Cosentino for a while and figuring out who I am outside the Bethany from Best Coast box I've lived in for such a long time." So, I get it. I'm kind of bummed that Best Coast is going to be on hold indefinitely, but, hey, onwards and upwards, right? This is not just a new sonic palette that's on offer here. Lyrically, Bethany is at her most vulnerable and open and exploring the conflicting tangle of expectation, of loss, of womanhood and aging, and it's also an album that's unmistakably rooted in the present and pondering the current state of the world, whether our personal worries are all just futile regardless. It's a rich, multifaceted insight into this contradictory nature of growing up and older, and this is Bethany's finest move yet. Anyway, check it out. She's great. Okay, so in addition to that, we'll just have a few picks across all kinds of different genres, and we're going to start out with Cannonball Adderley. Don't you love this artwork? Isn't that great? This is Cannonball Adderley Quintet in Chicago. It's on the Verve label, and with the tenor saxophone of John Coltrane joining Cannonball Adderley, his alto on 2 tracks, this exciting 1959 session boasts the same band that was featured on Miles Davis's Kind of Blue. Obviously, it's without Miles and Bill Evans, but as they go through this lively set of blues and ballads, Verve's acoustic sound series here, it features transfers from analog tapes and remastered 180-gram vinyl in this deluxe gatefold packaging. So, nice. And then we have Bad Religion. This is Recipe for Hate. This is the anniversary edition of this. And it's on Epitaph. Now, from the opening strains of the Politico title track with the countrified pedal steel guitar on Man with a Mission, from the anti-establishment anthem called American Jesus, to the heart-rending ballad called Struck a Nerve, Bad Religion's Recipe for Hate is by far their most eclectic album, and one that never ceases to stir up controversy among the fans. It's got some great guest appearances abound. Here from Eddie Vedder of Pearl Jam harmonizing on American Jesus and Watch It Die, to Concrete Blonde's Johnette Napolitano, her stunning vocals on Struck a Nerve, to Clawhammer's John Wall and Chris Bagarazzi's searing guitar leads on Kerosene. As the songwriting team of Graff and Gurewitz pull back from their more introspective writing that appeared on some of the previous albums, their focus ever more keenly on the events of the day. So Recipe for Hate is a scathing commentary on the state of the nation. Even though this is the 10th anniversary of this, it still rings true. And it's a social criticism addressing alcoholism and abortion and homelessness. So this is reissued on this limited edition Tiger's Eye translucent vinyl to celebrate their, not 10th anniversary, I'm sorry, what am I thinking? 30th anniversary. Okay, so that's here for you now. And it just on here says limited anniversary edition colored vinyl. But if you look on the barcode back here, it does say Tiger's Eye translucent. Okay. All right, next up is now, I have somebody corrected me today because I guess I don't say this word right. I'm saying it's the clientele, and they're saying no, it's the clientele. So either way that you say that word. I always have said clientele, so I don't know. But anyway, it's called I'm Not There Anymore, and it's on the Merge label, the Clientele's first new record in 6 years. So over their 32-year career, critics and fans have described their songs with words like ethereal and shimmering and hazy and pretty and fragile. Their singer, guitarist, and lyricist is called Alasdair MacLean, and he has his own interpretation of the effect his music creates, and he says it's that feeling of not being there, what's really been in all the Clientele records, in a sense of not actually inhabiting the moment your body's in. So I'm Not There Anymore regularly evokes what MacLean calls the feeling of not being real. Many of the songs were inspired by MacLean's memories of the early summer in 1997 when his mother passed away. But also represent the Clientele pushing forwards a new sonic frontier as a band, experimenting over the course of a 3-year recording period with those elements in the foreground. I'm Not There Anymore reasserts the Clientele's standing among the great stylists of pop music, deftly shifting from image to image, mood to mood in a way that feels both new and classically them. So this is limited edition black and red vinyl, and it does tell you that on the sticker. Okay. Okay, this next up is Deer Hunter Act 2. This is on Wax Bodega, and it's the second release in the Act series from Deer Hunter. Shortly after the release in the spring of 2007, the band hit the road touring with a wide variety of artists, and from like Thrice, Ours, Circa Survive, Saves the Day, as well as the band's first headline tour. This is on green vinyl, and does it tell us this any place? Okay, the variant, according to the back here, okay, there's, this one, okay. This one says green up on the top. Yeah, I'm gonna try to focus that. Okay, see it says green up here, and then they have a breakdown of how many they did. They did 1,500 in the green variant. They did green and cloudy clear 750, and purple and black marble 600. So anyway, this is the straight up green, and it's one of 1,500. Okay, yeah. All right, next up we have, this thing is hefty. Oh, all right, this is Ghost, and it's extended Impera. Look at that. Okay, it's 4 LPs, and this is through Loma Vista. Now, Ghost's highly acclaimed album, Impera, Best Rock Album, American Music Awards, iHeartRadio Music Awards, #1 on Spotify's Best of Kick-Ass Metal, #1 album plus year-end covers at Revolver and Metal Hammer. Anyway, okay, so it's got this monumental limited edition offering that is a proper tribute to this beloved instant classic. So Impera's definitive box set is bursting with some never-before-released vinyl, 3D die-cut gatefold vinyl jacket, wax seal kit with custom Ghost candles, band poster, 28-page photo book, and more. This is a limited edition numbered box set. This one here is number 1842 out of 2200. Like, you can see that, there's the number, and kind of down here you can sort of get a look at all the stuff. I'm not so sure it's great sending candles in the summer, but I think these are those like sealing wax kind of, they're not really candles, they're just wax melts, and they're real hard, so I don't think there would be any trouble with that. And it's just showing you get 3 different little seals that make different images out into the wax, and oh, anyway, there's just a ton of stuff in here. So, that's here. All right, and if that wasn't box set heaven, for the Grateful Dead fans, we also have Grateful Dead live at RFK Stadium. And this is Washington, D.C. And this one, wow, heavy. It was in June 10th of 1973. This comes to us on the Grateful Dead production label, and it contains the complete concert recorded at Robert F. Kennedy Stadium in Washington, D.C. on June 10th, 1973. And it's widely considered one of the Grateful Dead's seminal performances, and certainly one of the very best of the universally acclaimed 1973 performing year, because it's kind of synonymous with Grateful Dead concerts, as are the one from February 13th of 1970, or August 27th of 1972, and May 8th of 1977. So there are a few shows that deliver the goods to the extent of this concert. And with its statement opener of Morning Dew through the lengthy workouts of Birdsong, playing in the band, Here Comes Sunshine, Eyes of the World, and Otherworldly Dark Star, add this nearly hour-long encore third set featuring members of the Allman Brothers Band, and that's who the Dead shared the bill at RFK in 1973 with. And you not only have one of the most unique shows in Grateful Dead history, but also one of the most exciting, inspired, and powerful performances of the Dead's entire career. They're serving up a completely previously unreleased performance here with plangent process tape restoration and speed correction, and the mastering by Jeffrey Norman, who for many years has handled a lot of engineering and remastering and work with the Grateful Dead stuff. So this is a limited edition of 9,000, and it's 8 LPs on 180-gram vinyl, and it's super heavy. It's killing my arm just holding it up there that long. Okay, this is really cool. We have Joni Mitchell at Newport, and this is on Rhino Records. Now, Joni stunned the Newport Folk Festival audience last summer. It was not that long ago, when she gave a surprise performance, and that was her first in 20 years. And delivering a heartfelt set filled with some of her greatest songs, and they're pleased to announce her triumphant return, now available as at Newport. Along with Joni, it's been produced by close collaborator Brandi Carlile. Joni was joined on stage at the Newport Folk Festival by a star-studded band led by Carlile, and the 9-time Grammy award-winning singer-songwriter. Other performers include Carlile's bandmates Phil and Tim Hanseroth, Winona Judd, Marcus Mumford, Celise, Jess Wolfe, and Holly Lacing of Lucius. Those girls are those beautiful voices from Lucius. And Taylor Goldsmith of Dawes also, and more. But anyway, so she kind of really gave the audience a treat, blending her voice with other singers on stage on classics like Big Yellow Taxi and A Case of You and Both Sides Now. And for good measure, she even flashed her guitar prowess playing a solo instrumental version of Just Like This Train. This is 2 LPs on the standard black vinyl, and if you come in and buy it in the store, we do have for you a value-added poster that is, it's a pretty cool looking thing. I don't have one out here with me, but trust me, if you come in, they're very nice. I think it's like 11 by 17 size, and it's pretty cool. So yeah, that's here for you. All right, now we got some great reissues here from the Legacy Recordings label, and they're 2 Prince reissues. The first one is called Come, and this is with the album art depicting Prince in front of a cemetery gate and the years 1958 through 1993 scrawled under his birth name. It's kind of clear that 1994 would mean the beginning of a new era for a newly reborn artist. So Come would be the final album to be released under the name Prince until 2001's The Rainbow Children, and it serves as the first chapter in a new era of his artistry, and this was the era where he would simply be known as the symbol that no one could pronounce, and would establish himself as a commercially independent revolutionary force in the music industry. This is a single LP on black vinyl. Okay, then the other one is Lovesexy, and this was not the album that the music industry was expecting. Prince was set to release in 1988, so in what John Pareles of the New York Times described as one of the most enjoyable and peculiar moves of the 1980s, Prince announced that he would follow up the critically revered Sign of the Times album with the Black Album. And it was a raw collection of hard rock and funky dance music. But then, a mere week before its scheduled release, he scrapped his plans and demanded that Warner Brothers destroy all the copies of that album. So only one of the songs from that album, When Two Are in Love, would be saved from the cutting room floor. And within 7 weeks, Prince had recorded an all-new collection of songs to join it on the album Lovesexy. It was a brighter, lighter, and more melodic release, inspired by the more spiritual direction that Prince's music had started to take in the second half of the decade. So we need love and honesty, peace and harmony, positivity, he sings in the album's closing track, echoing the sentiment that courses throughout the album. So after confronting society's deepest troubles in his earlier political work, Lovesexy sought to unite and uplift. And in Prince's words, Lovesexy was his gospel album. So this is also a single LP on black vinyl. All right. Now this, oh my gosh, at long last, Steely Dan, Pretzel Logic, the reissue on Geffen. This catalog, the Steely Dan catalog is back on vinyl, so it's just been unavailable for a long time, but we've talked about it. It's been trickling in by little, but anyway, finally you can get Pretzel Logic now. Led by Walter Becker and Donald Fagen, Steely Dan released 7 albums from 72 to 80, and the vinyl series continues here now with Pretzel Logic, the band's first top 10, featuring the massive hit Ricky Don't Lose That Number. And this is on 180 gram vinyl, and yeah, wow, I'm just, and any major dude will tell you is on here. Well, anyway, if you're familiar with these things, you're going to know that this is one of their most sought after and loved albums. So there you go. Okay, now the Still Corners, Strange Pleasures on Wrecking Light. Now, in celebration of Strange Pleasures turning 10, is it 10th anniversary? Yeah, 10th anniversary of this. Okay, this edition here is on transparent green vinyl. And originally it was released on Sub Pop and has developed cult status since its release in 2013. Opening song, The Trip, captured people's hearts with one YouTube video acting as a virtual community for like-minded fans and around the world. And then Fireflies, which was Pitchfork's best new track, Strange Pleasures, Beginning to Blue, and The Trip have all been used across film and television since this album's release. So you will actually, even if you don't know them by name, you'll know a lot of music on this. And anyway, their 10th anniversary. And here it says colored vinyl on the sticker. But does it, I know it's green, okay. Yeah, it's got a poster in here and a download code with a bonus track. So, cool. All right, then this is interesting. It's Ike and Tina Turner. It's called The Hunter on Anagram Music, Elemental Music. So The Hunter is one of Ike and Tina's most blues-oriented albums. It was cut during the blues revival period of the late 1960s, and it was released just a few years after Phil Spector produced River Deep Mountain High. So The Hunter boasts several fine blues workouts in which the Stax sound kind of figures prominently. This album features electric blues guitarist Albert Collins, and this masterpiece earned Tina Turner her first solo Grammy nomination, and this is the first official American LP reissue in more than 40 years. So yeah, standard black vinyl. Okay, and this is The Used, and this is Toxic Positivity on Big Noise Music Group. So The Used are back with their newest studio album, their 9th studio album, Toxic Positivity. And so when Burt McCracken says that the songs that comprise Toxic Positivity are some of the most sincere he's ever written, you know he doesn't speak those words lightly. So here on Toxic Positivity, The Used are straightforward, in your face, destructive and vulnerable all at once. Described as a day-in-the-life journey of a depressed, anxiety-ridden person. The Tell-All album tracks the highs and lows of McCracken's depression and addiction through a cohesive body of work, reflecting the ever-changing headspace that he was experiencing at the time of writing. So this is 2 LPs on standard black vinyl, and it is in a gatefold jacket. Okay, kids, so that's that's a sampling, and like I said, I'm going to post the full list down below. It's got prices, and you can have a peruse at that. And anyway, I hope there's something that you think you might like here, and I will see you all next week. Have a wonderful weekend.